What's going on, guys? Mr. Bropo here, bringing you another video, and this time we are going to be taking a look at a couple things. We're going to be taking a look at my top 10 favorite action figures of 2019, and we're also going to be taking a look at the new reveals for ToyFair 2020. Whew! Oh my god, so much stuff got announced. It's crazy. There's so much stuff to talk about. So, a few things. Number one, we're going to look at my favorite action figures that I got in 2019. So this list is going to be a personalized list. It's not going to be the best of 2019. And it's going to be figures that were released in 2019 and that I purchased in 2019. So just keep that in mind. And I just wanted to share with you guys that because, I mean, I'm really late with that. But this is a new mic that I got recently, so bear with me. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. This is not going to be in any particular order, so we're just going to jump straight into it. So let's kick things off with the Marvel Legends Mr. Sinister. This figure is one that I really wanted. As soon as they announced it, I wanted to get the Toy Biz one, but hasn't aged the best. Really nice figure, great sculpt and paint work and everything. Looks great. Awesome X-Men villain to have in the collection. Speaking of X-Men, I think they're from the same wave too. We got to take a look at his brand new sculpt and everything. Oh man, yeah, totally worth it for any X-Men display. Such an awesome figure. We're gonna take a look at the Lightning Collection White Ranger from Mighty Morphin. Awesome piece. I mean, I wasn't expecting to get any Lightning Collection figures at all, but I decided to go ahead and pick them up. Everyone had been talking about them, and they are great figures, honestly, especially as a fan of the series. But even some non-fans are collecting these because they just look so damn cool. So, and speaking of, we have Lord Zed to go right along with him. When they announced that he was going to be right alongside White Ranger in the first wave, I was like, oh man, dude, like, I'm gonna have to pick these up because he looks awesome. We don't really get a lot of villains for this series in figure form, so to get one of the coolest looking ones in my opinion, is really awesome. But we are going to move on to Bandai of America, actually, and take a look at the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie Super Saiyan Gogeta Walgreens exclusive. This is one that I saw in the stores and was like, I'm not gonna get this, but I had to, man. I loved the movie, and a pretty good representation of the character too. I mean, the hair sculpt is awesome, the paint detail for it too looks really cool. I really like this figure. It was initially put off by the spray tan looking, detail on him, but it's not that bad in hand. It doesn't look nearly as bad as it does in some pictures. And on that same front of Bandai of America, we are taking a look at the Android 17 from Dragon Stars as well. Now, unfortunately, I don't have many other Dragon Stars on here, not to spoil anything, but it's because I didn't pick up Cell and some of the others like Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Frieza and stuff, First Form Frieza. Not that I didn't want to, but I just didn't get around to picking those figures up. But late 2019, I went ahead and picked this guy up for a really good price on Amazon, and he's awesome. He's a character that they don't have a lot of releases for, especially the ones that scale with like 6-inch instead of 7-inch, like Figure Eyes. And Figure Arts is very expensive now, so very solid figure. Probably Dragon Star's best from what I've personally seen. Really great piece. And moving along, actually, we're going to take a look at Lord Drakon from Lightning Collection. I almost forgot about this guy, and I gotta say, another great piece. I wasn't expecting to want him as badly. It's like they look cool, and you're like, oh yeah, they're pretty cool, for me at least. And, oh yeah, pretty cool and stuff. And then you see him in the store, and you're like, oh man, like, yeah, that thing looks legit, man. He looks super cool. Great figure. Really good likeness to Jason David Frank in this role that he never really played on the show, but he has played for little promos for the comics and stuff. Great example of how the comics are doing the original series justice. And then we have, back to the Hasbro side of things, the 80 Years Iron Man and Thor. And these guys are great, man. They look just like the old school classic comic book renditions of these characters, the accessories they come with, the detail and stuff, the shiny paint on Iron Man, I think the new sculpt for Thor in at least the head and the arms and stuff, like he just looks like big and bulky and stuff. Great, great figures right here. Definitely worth the purchase. These guys are awesome. So definitely needed some classic comic book representations of these characters, and we got them, and they're really good. And lastly, certainly not least, we have right back here the Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts Full Power Broly. This figure I knew I don't buy a lot of Figuarts, and especially last year I didn't buy a lot of Figuarts, but damn, I had to pick up Broly because I loved this movie. This movie was such a fun watch. I loved watching the Broly movie. I got to see it in theaters with my good friend, and I was blown away by the experience. It was incredible, and I had to pick up the figure. I got a good price on him too, so that's a plus. And he's an awesome figure just for the sheer mass of plastic you get, and it's so well sculpted and articulated. So yeah, definitely worth it. He would, if I had to choose, he would definitely be my number one pick for my top 10 like pickups of 2019, or just in general of 2019. Like, he might be one of my favorite figures, period, that I have in my collection. This guy is freaking awesome. Alright, so that's my top 10 favorite figures of 2019. Now let's jump into this year. So we're going to be taking a look at what's to come for 2020. Thanks to New York Toy Fair, we got a couple reveals, quite a few actually, from a couple different companies. Keep in mind, I'm not going to go over everything that got revealed, but just the stuff that mainly appeals to me and what I would personally collect and whatnot. So that's just me and what I'm going to talk about. So just to let you know. So for Marvel Legends, we got a couple things. Big thing, Fox Marvel movies. They have the licensing to now make movie accurate Fox Marvel movie figures. So that means Deadpool, Deadpool 2, all the X-Men films, stuff like that. So we're getting Hugh Jackman Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, freaking Domino and Negasonic from Deadpool 2 and 1, I guess, for Negasonic. And that means Josh Brolin, Cable as well. There's a lot of stuff. We're getting it, Mystique and Professor X and Magneto, all from the X-Men movies. So that's really cool. That's going to be that's pretty neat. Also, Dog cameo. Follow him on Instagram. Say hi, Rocky. So that's pretty fun. Anyways, we got a reveal for comic book War Machine, who's looking very cool, and Apocalypse. I think this is going to be released as like a deluxe figure, like the Hulk and the new Venom. So that's pretty interesting. We're going to get a bunch of Age of Apocalypse stuff, speaking of him. So that means like Weapon X and stuff like that. So that's going to be pretty cool. We're going to get a whole wave of that. We got reveals for 90s Spider-Man toys. So we got some Marvel Legends stylized, like the vintage 90s Spider-Man stuff from the Spider-Man the Animated Series from the 90s. And that is really cool. I loved that show growing up as a kid, even though wasn't born in the 90s, but you know. Anyways, Red Hulk, that's another one that we're going to be getting, so that's pretty nifty. We're going to get Venomized Captain America, which looks really cool. We're also going to get Avengers figures for the new game, the Avengers game, so we're going to get some new Gamerverse stuff. I think that's going to be a couple Gamerverse figures and a couple regular Marvel Comics figures, and that's going to build Abomination, a new Abomination figure, or Build-A-Figure. We also got Old Man Logan, a new Old Man Logan with the hat and the baby Hulk, so that's very cool. And to go along with that, an Old Man Hawkeye, so that is very cool. And I believe that wraps up what I was going to talk about, because there's a few other things, nothing too major, I guess, but But, you know, that's the stuff that really piqued my interest, and I thought it was very cool. On the Tamashii front, but we're getting a 2.0 blue Vegito that looks incredible. It's not going to be this San Diego Comic-Con or whatever Comic-Con exclusive thing like before, so that's very good. And I'm going to be analyzing that figure with a good friend of mine, Star Blast Studios. So I'm going to put a card here that will pop up for the video whenever that comes out. Anyways, moving on to the NECA front, and NECA went ahead and stole the show. They killed it this year, man. We got reveals for Jaws figures, Back to the Future figures, a new fully clothed Ghostface from Scream. I mean, they just went ham. They did a bunch of reveals for this year. It's insane. And then the Turtles stuff comes in, and oh my god, as if I wasn't broke enough already, I'm going to be extra broke. I'm going to be in debt by the end of this year. Oh my god. 2-pack of Raphael from the first movie in a trench coat with Casey freaking Jones. This was the Casey Jones that I've always wanted. As soon as they started doing these movie figures, Toka and Razar from the second movie, oh, they look amazing. Look at the freaking picture, man. If you're a nerd like me about this stuff, I mean, come on, man. Super Shredder this year. They stole the show. They killed it. Cartoon Mandroid or Krang-Droid, whatever you want to call it. Splinter, and I think they released a new Baxter Fly prototype or something. The Triceratons, the freaking rock guy, Metalhead was another one. I mean, so much. Oh, so much good stuff. Oh man, NECA, they killed it this year for sure. They did a phenomenal job with all the reveals and a lot of other stuff too, but I don't have time to get into all of that. Really cool stuff, but this is the main stuff I want to talk about, so I didn't have time for every single thing. That's it for me. That's all I wanted to talk about today. Was my favorite figures from last year, and what's to come for this year from ToyFair. I wanted to recap. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.